Hey everyone, welcome back to Spark Planner Life. I'm cozy mystery author Courtney Flagg, and we are working on our 3-hour short cozy mystery. So we had the first video, which was just the overall intro, then we talked about blurbs, and now we're getting to the good stuff. We are talking about the victim, the killer or the perpetrator, the other suspects, and of course, our main amateur sleuth. So if this sounds interesting, then keep on watching. So I have been working on my plot for the next short cozy mystery, my seasonal sweets. So the first thing is it's a series. So I already know my main amateur sleuth and all the supporting characters. So if this is a new story for you, you need to know that information. I'm not going to dive too detailed into that just because I already know Emma, I know Lily, I know Bryce, I know Detective Shane Kennedy. I know all those characters. And so for me, I need to dig into the new characters in the story. So we're going to start off with our victim. In this story, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. If you want to read this story and not get spoiled, then stop watching and we'll just take it from there. So, for one, we are not going to have a murder. So, with this, it is going off through the blurb, right? There is some weird, something's happening, a health issue, and it's making the people's tongues turn colors. So who my victim is going to be the first person that notices this change. So we have Regina Rhodes, and we're going to make her a food influencer. So basically we need to know who she is. We also need to know, does our sleuth know her prior? So sometimes they are a neighbor or a friend, a relative, something like that. That could actually happen. But in this one, she's actually just going to meet her a little bit before the incident happens. So Emma will follow her on social media, so she's kind of aware of Regina. Then we need to talk about, is the victim, are they likable? Do people not like them? What is the reasoning why they were chosen to either be killed or something bad happens to them, a robbery, whatever it may be? What is the reason why this bad thing happened to that person? Then we also need to know, are there any aspects of their history that you could use as clues or red herrings, something like that? So create kind of a short snapshot, a backstory. And so I'll read you what I have in my backstory. So we have Regina. She's making a pit stop in the Spokane. She's touring the major cities in the state of Washington, so she learns about Woodsville and their seasonal activities, and so she makes the short drive from Spokane to check it out. So that's kind of the backstory of why she is there. She is not part of the community. She's an outsider. So kind of know all that information about your victim. Now we are moving on to our suspect pool. So depending on how long your story is, right, we're working on a short story. So I am only having 3 suspects, and actually one of them is going to be the perpetrator. So it's a really short pool of people, and yes, that might make it easier to find out who caused the issue, but because we're writing 10,000 words, give or take, we need to not have 50 different possibilities, and so we're keeping it really short. So basically, for your actual perpetrator, try to do the same background information about that person. So what's their motivation for doing this crime or killing that person, that kind of information. Then what's a deeper motivation that's hidden, and then what's it even deeper, so more looking deep down into their soul a little bit. And you might not know all these different motivations of why this person did what they did up front, but hopefully by the end of the first draft you know that, so then when you're doing the round of making changes, you could kind of trickle some of those things in. So if they had, I don't know, a fear of spiders, and this person back when they were a kid tormented them with the spiders, that's a motivation for them when they're older. They always have that kind of grudge against that person, and so that could be a deeper motivation. And so then we're also talking about, is it sudden? Did this person on, crime of passion, or was it premeditated? So knowing that is important as well. And then coming up with an alibi that is good to have as well. Obviously, we know that they actually killed the person, hurt the person, robbed, whatever it may be, but they need to have some story that they're going to tell. So then when you're talking about the other suspects in your pool, basically try to come up with a motive. Why would they do this now? That means if there's any secrets, or what's their opportunity to commit the crime, alibi, and then having some clues, red herrings that you could trickle in your story. So now for your amateur sleuth and the other supporting characters, just give a background information if this is a continuation of the series. So be like, is it wintertime, springtime, kind of what is their clothing? That could come in handy, as well as what is their starting place? Where are they in their headspace at the beginning of this story, and then at the midpoint, and then also at the end of the story. We will do this, like the goals, motivation, throughout each of the different sequences, but kind of just have an overarching character arc of the story. So when it comes to Cozy Mysteries, the main character doesn't change a lot. There will be small changes as the series gets larger. When we're talking about, a 30-story series, they will go through some change, right? They grow as people are gone left and right, but overall, Cozy Mysteries, they are pretty flat when it comes to character art, so keep that in mind. If you're doing a romance or a fantasy, there will be a lot more change in the overall character arc. But we're not talking about that. We are talking about Cozy Mysteries today. So other aspects that you might want to think about is your character is, what is their purpose in this story? So you have your side character. So I have Lily. She is the sister. So the purpose that she's going to be in the story is she is helping Emma out at their Candyland Confections booth during the the Easter market. So that's her purpose. She's there, right? We have the detective Kennedy. He's there because something's happening and we need to have the police involved. Then I'm throwing in Emma's kind of love interest a little bit, is that he's there to support her. He's also participating. He owns a pet shop, so he's having a little booth with all these cute little puppies and stuff like that to help get them adopted. So that's his purpose. And then we have, right, obviously our suspects. So we have them, kind of what is their purpose as well, kind of who they are, what their job is. Add that information as well. So now we kind of went over having information on your victim, your suspect pool, and your actual perpetrator. And then we have our main amateur sleuth, and then any supporting characters that you want to add. So once you have all that information, you're able to move on to recreating the day of the crime, the day of the murder, whatever it may be. So typically, this information does not happen on page, right? Because that is the whole purpose of a cozy mystery. The crime, the murder happens off page. But this helps plot or plant those clues in your story. So in this one, we are having that, Regina is going through the booth, sampling all these treats and all this good stuff, and then she gets the reaction at Candyland Confections booth. So you're like, was it theirs? Was it someone else's? She was eating all this crazy stuff all from all the booths, right? Because she's a food influencer. She needs to sample everything and document it, of course. So, right, your, point of view is either first person, third person, but it's centered around your main character. This, recreating the day of the crime, is centered around the victim. So we will not see all this information in this story, but it could help provide clues, insight, that information when you're actually drafting your short story. So I hope that kind of helps give the basics of the characters. So we went through getting the blurb, now creating all the character information. Then for next time, we're going to be talking about our major plot points and filling that out and getting ready to draft this short story. So thanks for watching, and until next time. Bye!